Oh, everybody, I will show you guys today how to create beautiful mountains and landscapes like these. This will mean mountains, hills, plateaus, valleys, cliffs, anything you would want to make, you will be able to make from now on. It might seem hard or daunting at first, but it really is just easy. All you need is just creativity. So I will show you guys how to make a mountain. For example, one like this. I will make it over here. So you start with the terraforming, and by the way guys, if you guys don't know how the terraforming tools work, I will put in the description of this video another tutorial video I made which shows you guys how to use the tools. And once you know how to use the tools, this whole terraforming business becomes quite easy. So let's say you want to make a mountain over here. So we already have like a landmass. Let's make it bigger. So basically let's sculpt the shit out of this mountain. So I like to use this tool, the ditch tool, because it just creates elevation in a very cool way. It adds elevation. It adds the same amount of height to every surface on your map. So right now it's going kind of slow. That's because this mountain is pretty big. But if you press down every time, like you click, it grows faster. What I like to do though when I'm building mountains is I like to get rid of the trees first, all of the trees, because honestly you will see way better what you're doing. And another thing is, then when you put back the trees won't grow on the cliff sides such as these, so it looks way more natural. Alright, so already you see now without the trees we really have a better view of our place here, because this is basically a painting that we're making now. You just gotta use your eye very well and just look from all the different angles and everything. Alright, so let's continue with this because I want to make a big mountain. So basically I'm just doing this, and whoa. And I'd like to have a cliff. Oh, what is happening, guys? Okay, so I'd like to have a cliff over here. So I will use this level terrain, and I'll select a height, and I'll make it like this. Now I can also do this if I choose this to make it higher, because I want to have a pretty big mountain over here. Basically like the size of this one, at least. So an important step when you're building is to take a step back and look what you built. Obviously this it's very rough now, it's not refined yet, but it will be soon. So now I'm basically using the same tool as I was before, and it should start, you should start basically just, you know, trying to give it a cool look. For example, over here the mountain will probably have like a sloped line like this, which you can do for slopes because this is very necessary. For example, you see here I have lots of lines that go like this, you see, and these are essential in mountains because they are carved from like how the water flows, you see. So I have just a bunch of ridges like that, and how the tectonic plates move, that's how these ridges get created. So basically with this tool over here, which I've showed you, if you don't know how it works, watch my video, which I am going to place in the description. And you can basically just create nice little things like this. And you can basically put how many, like as many as you want, and you can make them in whichever order you want. But this is just gonna basically make the mountain look much more natural. You see? It already looks much better. You can also do the opposite, right click on the top and then go from the bottom up. And what is cool when you're terraforming, you can go out of these lines here. So that's pretty cool, because often when you terraform, you don't want the rest to be super flat, you know, like right out of your city's area. Alright, so now we have something like this. If you find this is too weird, like too many, like, you know, it looks like elephant, whatever. What is trunk? Are those? Yeah, I think they're called trunks. Those noses of theirs. I don't know, like why I forgot what it's called. But anyway, so basically you can just flatten them a bit, you know, to make it look a bit maybe less alien-like or whatever. So now you have something like this, you know. So you flatten it a bit. That's what I suggest, and it's still very simple. You know, there aren't too many interesting shapes to look at. So what I like to do then is I go back to this level terrain, and then I like to create little things like this. Basically, I go somewhere into the base, and I right click here, and then I just push inside. And this will create kind of like cliff faces. And it does make a big difference. So you guys are just in like a minute, you'll see the difference. So you basically just make some openings like this in the mountain. And then you can also just make like little plateaus like this to make it a bit more interesting. And let's say here you want to make one of these. And then what you can do, and what you should do, is just smoothen it a little bit like this. And then it's a bit more interesting. But it's not perfect yet, guys. And it's never going to be perfect from the first try, because it's a painting, you know, and you have to just work a lot with it. A mountain like this one that I made over here easily took me half an hour to make. This mountain over here, maybe 45 minutes. So like this mountain over here, it took me 15 minutes. You know, so it takes time if you want something nice, you know. Alright. So now basically you can start seeing things appear, like let's say this thing over here, and I like this part that just appeared here, so I'm just gonna kind of work with it a bit more. Whoa. And maybe like make it come out a little bit, you know. So then we have something like this, which is pretty cool. And over here you can like flatten it, or you can make a little village or something on the top. But if you smooth it, it's perfect for now. So something like this. Then let's see what else it needs. So I always go into this view mode to see what it looks like. So maybe over here we could have some ridges going down like this. So what I suggest is that you take this tool and you do what we were doing before. Something like this. So it looks a bit more interesting. But if one side of the mountain looks that detailed and whatnot, and that kind of it has that kind of geographical design, then it should look like that everywhere. So you shouldn't have one part that has a bunch of ridges like that and the rest of the mountain not having ridges like that, because that would be weird. And over here on the top, the smoothing tool is your best friend. Just to basically, the smoothing tool just makes everything come in together nicely. Also, if you do, also then over here to just create some little ridges. That's not that important because it's out of the map, but just so it looks pretty cool, you know. Alright, so we got this sort of looking mountain shape so far, and I mean, it already looks pretty cool. I like it, and I guess I could add it, make it a bit taller, but maybe I will just leave it like this for now, and for the sake of this video, I think it is enough, because I don't want to make this video super long. Now the last step, what I liked is adding trees, and my tree that I love to add is the pine tree, like I've added over here, and you see it looks very nice with the pine trees, and the pine trees will only spawn where it is not completely gray, so that makes it look very cool, because the gray is a cliff face. So that is why. Maybe over here it is a bit too jagged, actually, too like intense. So now that I smoothen it a bit, it looks a bit cooler. And over here, I'm looking at it, I feel like it might need a little bit of a little top here or something. You see? Now it looks a bit cooler. Anyway, guys, you can basically, mountains, you can always work with them. It's never going to be a final result, because depending on how much time you're willing to put into this, you can make this mountain, you can work on it for hours and hours on end. But basically, now I'm at the point where I will place the trees, and basically you just pick like a big size brush and you just place them. You don't need to place a crazy amount of trees either, like I just did, because I was on like one, so that's pretty strong. And there you go. So then you have the trees, and with the trees it looks very nice. One thing I would recommend is I do not put trees on my tops. I just simply remove them, because I want it to look more because not putting trees on the tops makes it look more makes it look taller, and as if, you know, it's very windy up here, it snows during the winter, there's ice and everything, so trees don't really have the chance to grow. They can't really grow. It's a very hostile environment up here. So leaving it like this, basically a pretty bald peak, it looks taller and more interesting for the eye. But not putting zero trees isn't a solution either. Just maybe now it looks better, you see, with a little bit of trees. So this was my tutorial on how to make a mountain, and I hope you guys liked it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see more episodes on basically how to make cliffs and whatnot, I can show you guys how, but it's basically like the same type of, just as long as you know how the terraforming tools work, you will be able to make anything you want. And yeah, I hope you guys will make a valley like I have over here, because I find this is just So cool looking. And you have this valley here. Like, look at the contrast this has with the city over here. Like, this is just very, very cool to put in your city. Just a crazy wilderness. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a nice day. Please like, subscribe, be safe, and take care. Bye-bye, guys.